Yeah. It's like being in the terraces, eh? You still can't sit.
No.
You'll have to move over a little. You're gonna have to take one of these seats there.
Wasn't the FA officials are your first two buyers?
Yeah, definitely. Get them before they go out the door.
You can be okay if I'm not around.
Give up Michelle McGrover's membership, you see. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
You're all most welcome. Thank you very much for coming here on a Monday night. Tonight marks an exciting milestone as we unveil a new ownership model for Finn Harps FC, giving the opportunity to the community, a unique opportunity to own and support this great club. We believe this initiative has tremendous potential to propel Finn Harps forward, building on the progress we've seen in recent seasons. This club is thriving more than ever, with better youth development, community roots, and more consistent support through the gates than we have ever had in our proud 70-year history. However, senior football remains a challenging landscape, especially for clubs without the backing of wealthy investors. As you know, UEFA's funding changes may reduce or even remove some of the support that helps clubs like ours. But with determination, we are ready to face these challenges head on. As proud members of both the Union of European Football Clubs and Football Supporters Europe, we stand alongside other community-based clubs to champion the voice of fans and uphold the values of inclusivity. Despite the phenomenal support, work, and talent invested in the club by so many people, it became clear that our previous model needed to be changed. And this was ratified at our recent SGM. Of course, Harps people being Harps people, the primary feedback was, you should charge us more. The price point was very carefully chosen to make it as accessible to people and as many people as possible. We cannot keep relying on the same core of people, unbelievably committed as those people are. You can only feel humbled when you see what people do for this club. Our vision is to widen the ownership base, inviting people from across Donegal, Ireland, and the world to become part of Finn Harps. Community ownership has proven successful in football clubs worldwide, and we are confident it can bring a new era for us too. We want to make it clear that supporting Finn Harps isn't just about attending games. It's about investing in a shared legacy. Sport, and football in particular, has the capacity to create moments, stories, and memories that stay with us forever. No one who saw it will ever forget Ray Houghton, proud Buncrana man, putting the ball in the England net, or Packy Bonner's save against Romania, or Shane Long's winner against Germany, or Robbie Brady against Italy. The list goes on and on. And for all of that, I think we have one of, if not the greatest story in Irish football, right here. They said we had no chance at all. But we won the cup. We competed for leagues. We fielded the most phenomenal goal scorer this league has ever seen. We've had our ups and downs, but we're still here, still growing, still fighting. Quick aside, I got to watch our women's under-19s yesterday in Galway. By God, did they fight. Didn't go their way, but I could not be prouder of how they represented the club. They were absolutely brilliant. We have so many memories of our own. We have the Sammy Johnston game, the league win against Dundalk, beating Shells in the Cup, the McGinn win, the Foley goal, the Banda goal. And there's so many more. We could list on and on and on, and we have many more ahead of us. That a club based somewhere as small as the Twin Towns, that we're not only surviving in the League of Ireland, but growing all the time, when so many clubs have fallen by the wayside. This is incredible. It's a credit to everyone across the region, across the country, and across the world that makes it happen. If we can tell our story of this club that defies the odds time and time again, I have no doubt we can bring more and more people aboard, not only as members, but as fans, as volunteers, as sponsors. I'm pretty sure most of us have had the conversation. We're asked, who do you support? And when you say Finn Harps, they go, who do you really support? Imagine a future where, who do you support? When asked, anyone from Donegal can proudly say, I not only support, but I part own Finn Harps. Our goal is to make it natural, almost essential, for everyone in our region and beyond to have a stake in this club. Together, we can ensure that senior football not only survives in Donegal, but thrives. We can ensure that youngsters will have the pathway to showcase their talent on the national stage. We will work together to ensure more great nights that create memories cherished for a lifetime. We will be an ever greater force for good in our community, bringing people together to celebrate our place and our passion. By bringing in more and more people to have a stake in and a say in Finn Harps, we can make the club sustainable into the future. We can offer them a chance to be part of something great and something that is truly ours. We offer the ultimate alternative to soulless corporations or the sports washing using football for their own interests. We offer football as it was meant to be, football as it should be. So, when the team wins on a Friday night, or when we launch our senior women's team, when we get to our new stadium, when our youth teams do us proud on the national stage, when our Down syndrome futsal heroes sweep all before them, when Harps players pull on the green shirt of Ireland, we can all feel pride that each and every one of us played a part in it. Because this is who we are. We are Finn Harps and we own this. The odds are often against us, but we will face the future with confidence and determination that up here on the edge of the world, we can show that community-based, fan-owned football still has its place. We ask you all to row behind this effort, to spread the word across the region and the world, and ensure the Finn Harps name burns brightly for generations to come. We need you all to sign up. We need you to sign up all your family, all your friends, all your workmates, everyone. We need you to support the club's efforts to spread the word on this far and wide. Thank you. Up the Harps.
These are all the work, yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Aidan. It is a momentous occasion for our club. It's something that we've been looking at as board members for this last number of years, as in how do we compete when the world around us is changing so fast. We can see, you know, in the league itself, teams are progressing, the attendance numbers are up, and you know, the top teams are, the division between the top teams and the first division and the smaller clubs in the regions, that gap is widening very, very significantly. But not just that, if you look at the history of our club, you know, 20 years ago, there was literally just one team in our club. We might have had a reserve team, and that was about it. Now we have we have 11 teams, 8 men's, 2 women's, and a mixed futsal team. The work that is required behind the scenes is phenomenal, from maintenance to managing the business operations of it. And when the season starts, only 20 to 25% of our operational income is actually secured before the season starts. That's in terms of any prize giving money that we may possibly have on any business, and to project out, that you've got to commit to paying salaries for the next 10 to 12 months. Salaries for the next 10 to 12 months is it's a very, very precarious business model, especially living in the US and UK. When I spent over 15 years living in the UK and would have networked a lot with the Donegal diaspora there. Everybody there checks the results every weekend. They have a connection to Donegal. They have a connection to Finn Harps, but it's not a physical one. I think by offering out or opening up our doors to those people, hopefully we build that connection, and we build something long term to make them feel part of our club. This initiative is to help reduce the burden on our volunteers. We hope to make some significant hires in the forthcoming months to be able to run our club on a more professional basis. We hope that it's supported right around the world, not just by people from Donegal diaspora, but anybody that affiliate or has affinity with the fan ownership model. We hope to push it out to fan-owned clubs right around Europe, to the Donegal diaspora abroad, but also to the Irish diaspora living in the US and UK. Hopefully, we get to that point where we are able to say that, look, that we don't need to sell our club. We will need to reach somewhere around the region of 6,000 to 8,000 members before we can confidently turn our back on private investment. So we've set ourselves a goal of getting there. Once we get past 3,000 members, we will be the biggest fan-owned club in Ireland, but we need to get up to around the 6,000 to 8,000 mark before we can confidently say that we will turn our back on private investment. I'd like to thank David Courell here and Mark Scanlon, who's both come up here from Dublin to represent the FAI, and I'll pass it on to David first for some words.
Thank you, Ian. Good evening, everyone. My name's David. I've recently taken on the permanent post as CEO of the association. I've been hoping to come and visit for a few months now. Ian and I have been exchanging messages and calls, and when this opportunity presented itself, I felt it was too good to miss. We want to show our solidarity with the club and our support. I think what Finn Harps, the history that you have and the depth of connection that you have with your community here in Donegal, it's exactly what we want to promote within Irish football. Irish football spreads across the breadth of the country, and I think you're a club that has a rich history, but also a very clear vision and ambition for the future, and innovative approaches to ownership models and funding structures is exactly what we need in Irish football. So here in absolute support of Ian and the rest of the board with their ambitions, and would implore all of the locals to get behind the club that you love and show that support on an annual basis.
Thank you very much, David. Mark, if you want to say a few words.
Thanks, Ian, and thanks to the club for inviting us up this evening. Just in terms of my role as League of Ireland Director, I've always been a passionate League of Ireland fan myself since a young age, so a lot of what Aidan said earlier on resonates with me massively. And when I look back to moments like yesterday, we were in the Viva Stadium. The Jubilee team from 25 years ago, unfortunately for everybody in this room, was Bray Wanderers after the trilogy of the cup final that year, and I remember that game well. One of them key moments, and where were you when this goal went in? That BJ Banda goal again was another memory of mine of that day, and if I'm not mistaken, Kev, I think he actually came on for you that day, did he? Yeah, in that game, yeah. But in the other side of it, what happens in that game was your opponents that day is the downside of what Aidan is saying, and what the possibilities are when a club goes the other way as well in Limerick. So it's very important that the local people get behind Finn Harps today, and that we see Finn Harps continuing to grow and prosper in the future. So much possibilities around the club. There's fantastic work that's gone on at the academy level, both boys and girls, over the last number of years, and we've seen that develop and grow, and we've seen a pathway for young boys and girls who can aspire to play professional football within your own region. And it's important that the good work of Finn Harps continues for that to happen. Earlier on today, we were again visiting both the current stadium and the new site, and again, it's really important that that stadium is open for all. So for them future fans that Aidan mentioned earlier on, who grow up saying, who do you support? We want them to say they support Finn Harps in a brand new stadium as part of hopefully continue a proud members owned club with your plans that are out here today. So we would encourage, from our point of view, as many people as possible to get behind the club's fundraising efforts to make sure that the stadium dream becomes a reality, and to make sure that the club can continue to prosper, grow and develop into the future.
Thank you. Yeah, no, this model, it's all about being sustainable. In the last couple of years, we've looked at our club in terms of our revenue streams, and for over a decade, we've ignored the development of our own players and never really looked at it as an income stream. And thankfully, with Darren and Kevin, we have started to show that this pathway can work. We're starting to see players getting international recognition. We're seeing them getting recognition not just from clubs over across the water, but Premier League clubs across the water, with a number of players recently having trials over there. That hopefully will be a future income stream for the club, a sustainable future income stream as well. We have been investing in our academy for years, but we never really provided that pathway that gives the players the opportunity to be seen and to be recognised and to gain that experience at senior level, and that is extremely important. By becoming a member in our club, becoming a shareholder, it allows us to invest further into that. So we have to start looking at how we can develop that pathway further for players to strengthen what we've already started. And, these are kids from our region. They're, every single village and town is represented in our academy at the moment. So by supporting and becoming a member, you are supporting the kids, your neighbours, your friends, your everybody in Donegal and beyond. We have a really good support base in just over the border in Strabane and Castlederg, and further down even into Fermanagh and Leitrim, that come and support us every week. We are providing a pathway, in excellence in our sport, and we have an obligation as a community-based club to provide that pathway to them. This investment that you will be providing will allow us to improve what we're currently doing, to professionalize it, and to de-risk ourselves as well. This is a very precarious industry, and we hope to do this in a sustainable way. That's Aidan, did you want to follow up with any closing remarks?
Yeah, it's also brilliant crack, right? It's about joy.
You might just mention about the launch tomorrow.
The club brings so much joy into people's lives. It brings people together, people who would never necessarily get together otherwise. You know, they become friends through football. And that's true everywhere, and especially in a place like Donegal where, you know, we're all kind of spread out. So it's just a brilliant thing to be a part of. You know, for all the miles and the expenditure and everything. Like, I always feel like you get more out than you ever put in. Like, it's just a fantastic thing to be involved with. It can be stressful, of course, and there's bad nights, but the good ones they just make it all worth it. And you know, those memories are incredible. And you know, and to see, you know, young local players coming through now, you know, there's always that bit more of a connection, and we'll always need players from the outside. You know, we'll always need you know, that help to bring in something different, or you know, wherever we don't have players in a particular position or whatever. But you know, this is fantastic. This is really, it's a wonderful thing to be involved with. It is a great club, and it is, you know, it's good for people to be involved with this stuff. We bring people together in a really authentic way that we're kind of losing in some ways in the modern world, where we look at screens too much. You know, when people are at Finn Park, you know, when the tension's really there, they are in that moment. I can see the kids around where I stand when we're pushing for that late winner. You know, they're absolutely wrapped up in that moment. And when it actually happens, I'm kind of looking at them going, you're never going to escape now. That's it. We have you. And it's wonderful. It's brilliant. You know, the likes of myself and Chris and almost everybody in this world, we've been doing it a long time, and it's brilliant. It's great. And we have to keep it going and keep building. And like these youth teams, I've never watched a Harps youth team that I didn't really enjoy watching, no matter how things went. You know, they play with such a passion and verve, and they represent us so well. This is well worth being a part of. It's a truly great thing. So tomorrow, we're going to go live, 3 o'clock. Go to finnharps.ie, you'll have your link there, and you become a part owner of this club for €25. Obviously, if you want to give more, that would be more than welcome. Everything helps. It is a tough business, as Ian was saying. So yeah, we need you to spread the word. We need you to buy, and you know, best Christmas present ever, right? Make them part owners of a football club. We just need to get the word out now. We need everybody, a huge collective effort, and this can transform our club, put it into a sustainable place. That, you know, we've always struggled with that. Football's a very boom and bust business, you know, and we want to get to a point where it's just sustainable. We know at the start of any given year where we're at and what we can invest and what we're going to do. And the future is very, very bright. You know, the crowds are going up. We lost 6 games in a row, and we came home and played against Cove, and we had very close to 1,000 people backing the team to the hilt. And you could see the connection between the team and the fans. It's one of my favourite Harps games. I got out of the car and you could feel it already. You could just see in people's body language, this is it. Tonight is the night we are turning this around. And that's a wonderful thing. That's an amazing thing to be part of. You know, everything was going against us, and we turned it around that night. And the fans and the players did it together. You could see the interaction there. When things were going against us, the crowd lifted them. It's a brilliant thing. Why wouldn't you be involved? It's fantastic. That'll do me.
Well done, thank you. Does anybody there have any questions?
Just in terms of putting it out there, in terms of how people can buy from 3 o'clock tomorrow, do you want to just tell us where people can find it, etc.? Yeah,
so we will be live on our website at 3 o'clock tomorrow at finnharps.ie. There will be a link directly from the homepage. We will also actually be actively going out and promoting it throughout the county ourselves as directors and fans. We would encourage people to go out and push the membership ourselves. So yeah.
Yeah, this is just the start. This is just the firing of the starting gun. You know, this is going to be a sustained campaign. We need to push and get people in here, and we've got people working on really good content and stuff to get out there as well. So this is just the start, and we need people coming in with their creativities and their ideas and their talents to help us, because we need to grow our volunteer base as well. Phenomenal people involved, but we do need more, because we are burning people out at the minute. Like, there's no two ways about that. So, we need to grow in every aspect and just get it onto a sustainable basis, like both for the club and for people involved, right? Because, some of what people are putting in, it can't go on forever.
I can just say congratulations to Mark and David yesterday on another really successful FAI Cup final. Just an absolutely fantastic event. The colour and the noise, presentation. We all remember the cup finals where there was 8,000-9,000 at Gillingham Park, and I suppose what we're all selling here is, as it was live football. We all have younger relatives who think football should be watched on the screen. And to watch yesterday, and so many people from Courell and Derry, two clubs from outside Dublin. The club from Dublin were great, by the way, but it was a great event, and our sincere commiserations to our colleagues in Derry City. It was another fantastic event. So I saw a figure today, Mark, if I could just address this yourself, that there was 1 million people came through the gates at the League of Ireland this year. And we see this trend of more and more young people getting out and enjoying live football as opposed to watching it on the television. From talking to all the different clubs, what would you put that is there any common factors that are coming up when we discuss this with the club, where this positive development is coming from?
Yeah, I think there's a number of different aspects to it. I think it's important, first of all, as you've said, Aidan, that people actually experience the opportunity to be at live football and understand the difference and the buzz you get, like as Aidan has outlined there earlier on as well, that last minute winner or that bit of drama that just can't be captured when you're watching a game on TV. So I think that live football has helped. I think the family aspect of what we have in the League of Ireland helps as well. You can go along with your mummy, your dad, your siblings, your cousins, your friends. That wider aspect that you're part of something that's more than just buying a ticket for a seat that you sit in a stand. As much as people enjoy travelling to the UK or further afield in Europe to come and watch a match, when it's something that you're part of as a season ticket holder with your local club, and it's something that's regular and happens on a weekly basis, it just becomes part of habit. And I think what the clubs have done over the last number of years is a fantastic job of working in the community. So that goes back to the academy structures we spoke about earlier on. Most of us will remember times when League of Ireland clubs were a men's senior team playing in a men's senior league only. And as Ian has outlined earlier on, the club is much more than that now, with so many teams across boys and girls, right down through the academy structure, the Down syndrome futsal team, and the other aspects of the FSR work that's been done in Finn Harps and many clubs around the country. So that's helped the League of Ireland clubs have a much bigger footprint in the community now. And as a result of that, people have a much bigger connection and affinity to the clubs. And right away across the country, we've seen the rewards in that with people coming through the gates. As you mentioned, yesterday brings us over 1 million people for the first time ever attending domestic football games in the country. And that figure's only going to grow, especially if we can continue to develop the stadiums. And the announcements made as part of the large-scale sports infrastructure fund last week will certainly help. Trying to get the stadium open here will certainly help, and continuing to build on that across the country. But as well as the increased numbers of people who have been coming through the gates, we've also seen a massive increase in the amount of people who are watching online as well through LOI TV, which is another important aspect of what we've grown across the league to make sure that the league is visible and has an always-on approach. And then that's translated directly through social media as well, where there's obviously a growing interest in the league across all of the social media platforms. And all of that then has resulted in an increased TV viewership as well. So we want all aspects of the league to continue to grow, but certainly the main aspect that we've always pushed, and certainly I have as a League of Ireland fan, is to make sure that people come out and experience the game live and see what the buzz is like to be there on a match night, watching a game under the floodlights, dealing with the ups and downs and everything that happens of following a football club throughout the season, and that's what we want to encourage here locally as well.
Is this model, Mark, something that, not to sort of compare the other clubs that are in the league, but we've seen so many clubs that have their issues, some have gone to the wall and come back again, but is this almost a preferred option that you as the league director would like to see clubs employing?
I think there's no one size fits all for it. Like, if you look at some of the models that we have across the clubs at the minute, we have some brilliant fan-owned clubs who have that passion to continue to stay that way. That's obviously evident from what Ian and Aidan have said here this evening. That's direction of travel for Finn Harps. You've seen how well that can work with the likes of Bohemians and Sligo Rovers, who have done that incredibly well over the years. Other clubs have a hybrid model. You take the likes of Shamrock Rovers, who've done really, really well of having 50% owned by the fans and 50% private investment. They needed that at that particular time as well to get their stadium open when it happened. And then we've had some brilliant local owners like Philip O'Doherty at Derry and like Gareth Kelleher at St. Pat's, and that model has worked really well for their clubs. And then we've had some excellent outside investment, and Drogheda winning the Cup yesterday as part of a multi-club ownership. So it's not that there's one particular model that's what we want to see across the clubs, but it's making sure that we have the right owners and the right passion and the right board to see what drives the club. And each of the different areas will be different as well. And I think the model here in Finn Harps is certainly something that the board here are very passionate about, and that can fit this local community really well, because what you have in Harps is you have one club in a county that's a sporting mag county, that's a really strong tradition in football and all sports, and people from Donegal are really passionate and proud of being from Donegal, and whether they're still based here, whether they're based across the country or based overseas, this model gives them all an opportunity to be equally involved. So I think it's a really good fit for the club.
Yeah, I know we had this conversation, I suppose, at the SGM a couple of weeks ago, but in terms of the numbers, 3,000 on the face of it, people might look and see, Jesus, that's a lot of people, but it's something that you're very confident of reaching.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we have to be. If you look at, we have 650 at the moment starting off, so we're starting off from a significant number, but we do believe that it will appeal to the Donegal audience initially. There are multiple different layers which we think it will appeal to. People are asking me, what is it? What benefits do you get from becoming a member? But to me, it's more about what is it that you're actually saying by becoming a member. It is actually saying that, fan ownership is important to you by purchasing that share. It's also saying that you recognise the work that we are doing in the community with the disadvantaged, with the new citizens, with the kids in the schools, the work that we're doing right around the county. All of those things have to resonate with people, I believe. And I think from the feedback that we've had so far by asking our immediate networks, a lot of people said, you know what, that actually does resonate with me, and I think that I could pull in 4 or 5 other people as well. So the price point was particularly, or chosen in particular, to allow people to push it out to their own networks as well. So hopefully it resonates with enough people and we can continue pushing it out. I mean, if you look at it from an investment perspective, as Mark says, our league gives people an opportunity to, Mark pointed out tonight, you're only 4 games away from getting into Europe on an annual basis, those 4 cup games. Or by getting into the Premier League as well, 4 or 3 other clubs as well get into Europe, and that's unlike any other country really in Europe where it's that accessible to get into Europe. And if we do manage to get back up into the Premiership as well, the funding that is or will be available from Solidarity and potentially then getting into Europe is significant. So that has to be where our ambitions are. We've got significant ambitions within our stadium. We've got ambitions within our academy structure, but we have to do this sustainably. And I think the model that we are proposing is as sustainable as we possibly can be, and it's focusing on the right areas at the right time as well.
You mentioned the stadium there. I suppose never more was, given the difficulties of the season gone by, never was it sort of more imperative that project. Can you tell us in terms of where that's at the moment? Yeah, so on the 21st of November, we hope to lodge our planning application.
We've been sitting with the Mark and David and Walter here today with our architects, and in terms of what's been submitted for planning, that's been approved in principle by the guys here in terms of what we're submitting. We will be breaking it into different phases in terms of what we'll be completing, and we need to agree that with the FAI. We've got broad terms on what that will be, but we're once we've got it submitted, we'll then break that down and get it costed, and we'll see how far our money goes. But you know, that is incredibly important to be sustainable there as well.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but is this another reason that it's important that people are signing up to this? Because obviously the club needs money, and the club has sort of costs to meet in terms of the new stadium. So it's basically imperative that people buy this to make sure Finn Harps continues at all. Never mind, you know, what we do in the future is, or maybe a bit too dramatic with that.
Not really. I mean, like, it is, this either works or we have to go back out and look for investment. And to me, personally, that model doesn't, I think that the fan-owned model works in my view, and I think that's where our club should be. It's what we decided back in 1998, and it's how we've operated. We are very community focused, and I think we have an obligation to deliver a pathway for the kids in our county. Now, as Aidan says as well, we will always have to bring in talent because of the restrictions of where we are, but I think that's extremely important to us as a regional club. I think it's exciting as well. I think what we're offering people to be part owner of this club and be on that pathway, because we have, if we get this done, you know, that we get the stadium built, if we, you know, get improvements on our infrastructure in our academy and invest further into it, I think we're already starting to see some of the fruits of that starting to bear. I mean, it's very, very early stages, but you know, there's a lot of positives at the moment right now. We have a lot of momentum.
Mark, all across the league, I suppose, like there was the announcement last week, the large-scale stuff in terms of, I suppose, given the rise, even if you look, somebody had a graph up yesterday of FAI Cup attendances. I remember that game in '99, I think there was maybe, 10,000 in Talca. Like, this was wedged at that time, that's gone fourfold. Aidan spoke about a bad run of results, and there was about 1,000 people. Go back 10 years, the last home game of the season, the manager resigned just beforehand. I remember we were in the press box actually physically counting how many people were at the game. To cater for the rise in attendances, I mean, good facilities are so important, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. It's crucially important. Again, you can see what it can do in a stadium like the Aviva Stadium yesterday, where it's an environment where people can very comfortably come to the game. Again, some of the best examples in terms of stadia over the last few years. Tallaght Stadium adding the fourth stand this year has been significant for not only Shamrock Rovers but our women's senior international team, and the growth in attendances there, as well as being able to host the under-21s and the other games that have taken place in Tallaght Stadium. And you can see the cooperation there between the football club, the local authority and national government to get that stadium in the situation it's in. So hopefully we'll see more of that on the recent announcement with the LSSAF, and I think there's no better time for our clubs to be pushing them doors and making sure their planning applications are in, making sure their funding applications are in, because of that rise in attendance. And most of our stadiums now are full, so we're delighted to have gone over the 1 million spectators for the year with yesterday's cup final, and we hope that number continues to rise. But in the vast majority of our clubs, particularly in clubs in and around the men's Premier Division, them stadiums are full and they can't go any further. And as you can see from the Economic Impact Assessment report that we released 2 weeks ago, the league already contributes a significant number to the economy, with 164.7 million contributed to the economy, including 40 million in direct taxes. So this league is much bigger than just being a league that gives an opportunity for fans to come on a Friday night or for players to play out their potential. It actually contributes significantly to the economy, and we want to see that number continue to grow, and we want the league to continue to have a positive impact on the community from an economic point of view and also from a social point of view as well. And a big crucial part of that is the development of stadia that will allow more fans to come in through the gates, more revenue to be spent in the local community, and we can see how that rejuvenates an area. Many of the stadiums around the country are the lifeblood of what goes on in that local community, and many businesses around the stadiums wouldn't survive if it wasn't for the weekly footfall that comes from League of Ireland football.
And in terms of that, Ian, sorry, alluded to it at the start, that gap now with the UEFA Solidarity money being, like, is there anything the association can sort of do to help bridge the gap that's going to be lost?
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one, particularly for the clubs in the men's first division, because the League of Ireland clubs have always had a good level of solidarity amongst themselves in terms of splitting that out across 20 clubs. With the recent announcement from UEFA, the first most positive part of that is that there's going to be an increase of approximately 2.5 million coming into Irish football. So the increase in UEFA solidarity is very welcome. But obviously some of the dangers of that is that it will be split primarily to the Premier Division teams, which was what the Solidarity Funds initially were always outlined for when they were introduced first in 1999-2000 season. But because our clubs always split them equally amongst each other, it was there to help with youth development. That's changed now because the Solidarity funding will be spread across a number of areas, and it presents some challenges for the First Division clubs in terms of keeping that level of funding. We're continuing to work closely with government in terms of proposals to help fund academy football. We hope that we'll continue to be successful in that area as the positive conversations continue. We recognise the need for all of the football clubs across the country participating in the League of Ireland to have a strong academy, to develop that player pathway for your own local clubs and also for the international teams. And then obviously we'll continue to try and drive revenues into the league, be that through TV revenue. The recent LOI TV announcement that you've seen as well will be another help for money that will be distributed back towards the clubs as well. And we'll continue to try drive as many of them revenue streams forward, but hopefully we'll close that gap with some of the work that we can do.
I would just add there, because it's actually quite important, Finn Harps people, football people, like, make this an issue on the doorsteps, make this one of the things. I mean, there's loads of, maybe you call them more important things, but this is important. Football is really, really important. It makes a huge economic and societal impact. These clubs are good people trying to do really good things, and with a bit of support, who knows what could be achieved. Like, who thought we'd get to a point where all the stadiums are full? Do say this on the doorsteps. I'm raging at myself that I was caught on the hop when the first canvasser came. I didn't say it, but every other one of them, and I'm going to mention, if you wanted to call them sort of the gambling-based industries that are the horses and the dogs, they get phenomenal support. And honestly, I think football and the other, lots of the other sports as well, not just football, they make a bigger contribution to society than maybe some of the industries that are being very heavily funded at the minute. And I think there's a very strong case there for more support for the clubs, and especially for academies, when the future of Irish football is the academies and developing players here, because we can't rely on England to do it anymore. It's a huge thing. More and more players who play for Ireland are coming through League of Ireland clubs, and we do need support to do most of that. Do more of that, because we've seen the stats about how many professional coaches there are working in academies in Ireland. Like, the number is really, really small. It's only just into double figures. We need to get way beyond that. Like, we're hugely fortunate in the incredible coaches and volunteers that we have, but we need to do more. We're doing this effectively on a shoestring, right? And we want to do better. There's so much we'd like to do. We do. I think football deserves. There's the past, and some of David's predecessors didn't do us, well, one in particular didn't do us any favors there. But that's the past now. Look at the good that we're doing. That has to be let go. Football is too important to let wither on the vine. And there's so much. It makes so much sense to invest in this, because there's so many benefits to health, to the economy, and to people's mental well-being. Like, it's a huge thing, and it just makes all the sense in the world. So if people could see their way clear to mention it, that would be good as well, because they do take very seriously what they hear on doorsteps.
Coming back to the shares, and the sale of shares, you're launching tomorrow at Finn Harps. I'm sure it'll be successful, but I'm thinking about the ban. I'm going to be speaking to it tomorrow morning at 1 o'clock, and tell him, Finn Harps or something. How does he do it?
So we will be able to. There is.
He doesn't know anything about computers.
Yeah. So we will.
How does he do it? And do we have a strategy
For those people.
for selling our shares
Yeah, we have a marketing strategy for that, and we will have literally just an A4 page where people can go out and get people's to sign up. So we will either be taking it by cash or card or whatever it is. We will be allowing people to come into the club shop as well to buy these shares for people that don't have that aren't used to buying online. So there will be, yeah, we will be doing that. Kieran.
Is there any other outlets? How do I say, I'm going to look for that
Yeah,
A4 sheet that you're talking
yeah.
about. Where do you go?
Well, but it'll be available on the website. We'll be able to download it, but we can also, if you're not on it, no, we'll have them.
I'm talking about,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not being awkward here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just talking about a lot of ordinary people.
Yeah.
Don't have a clue how to do it.
Yeah, so we'll have those sheets in.
Might have and might not. You know, but to me, I think we need a strategy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We have to get this to the people.
Where people can go to.
Yeah, they'll be available in the club shop for
Club
people.
shop,
Yeah,
and that's open on a Wednesday and a Friday.
Wednesday and a Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, and it'll be open more then on the run up to Christmas and everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is something.
Yeah. Be in the clubhouse as well. Any day of the week, there'll be people in there. Yeah.
Can you buy more than one share per person?
Yeah. Yeah. You
buy
can more than one.
You
Yeah.
can buy 100 shares.
Yeah. 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 It will allow you.
Not just one vote, right?
Yeah.
That's the co-op model. Yeah.
Yeah.
You only ever have one vote.
Now, do I buy that share? Is that for life? Or do I have to reinvest in that share next year?
Yeah. You have to reinvest in that share next year.
So
Yeah.
Well, you own the share for life, but your voting rights have to be renewed every year.
I know
Yeah.
that, but the share just lasts 1 year,
No, the share lasts for life.
right?
But if you've bought 10 shares, you only need to pay them.
Say I have one
Yeah.
share,
Yeah.
and next year, do I have to buy another share?
No.
To be a shareholder at the AGM?
No. You just have to pay the membership fee, but the membership fee is the same price.
The membership fee.
Is the same
So
price.
that is a membership fee.
Yeah.
And it includes the share.
And you
Yeah.
have to renew it each
Every
year.
year. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, because that's what, I'm
That's what you're selling. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
people have asked me.
Yeah.
Is it a cut-off date? No. Like people can minus 365, like in terms of obviously voting rights and stuff.
So it'll go in the calendar year, but if you're buying now, it'll be for the 2025. Yeah, but post that, then it'll just be for the calendar year. So you buy it anytime you buy it within that calendar year, it ends in that calendar year.
So if you buy in June 2025, that's your
Up to-
2025
Yeah,
share.
yeah, yeah,
Share, but after that, it's a membership.
yeah,
The share remains for life.
Yeah.
I have shares from wherever the last.
Yeah.
That's still, I can put them on the stock.
yeah, yeah.
You can say.
That's it. Well, thank you. Yes, Kieran.
For people not sure about buying the shares online,
Mm-hmm.
what time does the club shop open on Wednesday?
On a
It's
Wednesday.
5 to 7, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, we're 5 to 7 Wednesday and Friday, and we'll be going around the county, guys, and there'll be a frequently asked questions section on the website, just answering the queries about people may have about cash payments or rights and that type of thing as well. So that'll be on the site when we launch 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we hope to host events in different towns around the county in the coming months, in the off season. Yeah.
And when we come into the new season, is it possible that some people come here, go to a match, and that they can actually buy a chair?
Yeah, it'll be available in the shop.
Will they be for sale?
Yeah,
Will we be promoting them for sale?
yeah, definitely. We have to keep promoting them
Yeah.
right throughout the year.
It just has to keep rolling.
Well, I know that, and
Yeah.
what I'm asking about is, have we got a strategy for how to get to this 3,000?
Yeah.
And can we get X amount there, and X amount there, this much overseas, can I get
Yeah.
that much in America? Can I get, and how do I get?
Yeah, well, we'll be going out to all of the local major employers as well and asking them, all of them have funds for their employees, so we'll be asking them to make that part of their contribution to their employees as well. So there are big multinational corporations based here in Donegal that have thousands of employees. This is something we'll be approaching
They
them.
would gift
Yeah.
Yes, to their
Yeah,
employees.
we already have people booked to go to the Donegal Diaspora Association.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I got the
Yeah.
name right, but they're going over to London to that later this month as well. So we'll be taking the word to the people at every opportunity. And you know, indeed, we're asking everybody to you know to help us with that as well, because you know
It's everybody who's
Yeah.
a supporter.
that's it. Yeah.
But we need to know the ins and outs of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be a comprehensive, frequently asked questions on the website, and
We'll print that out as well for the sheet
Yep.
whenever you're going out. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Very good.
I might, if there's
Yeah.
a break, I might just build on a point that Aidan was making earlier about, you know, I think effectively find your voice. Hopefully you'll have seen in recent years that the association has, I suppose, tried to galvanise our community to speak with one voice. We focused on 3 areas in the football space in particular. Pathways, so we have a pathways plan. Facilities, which is obviously central to what Finn Harps are looking to do. Sorry, and the third one is escaping me now for one moment, but it'll come back to me in a second. But really, it's around facilities. And you look at what we outlined in 2023, our facilities vision put forward an ambitious 863 million 15-year vision. So very substantial, but that was in recognition of the kind of chronic underfunding that we've experienced in Irish football over decades. The LSSIF award from the most recent round brought our running tally for this year to north of 100 million invested into Irish football, which I think is nothing short of astounding and a really good starting point for our 15-year vision. Obviously, we consider Finn Harps part of that and the new stadium build. You know, I think ultimately the growth we've experienced in the league, as Mark outlined earlier, it's the facilities that are holding us back from going to that next level. I think it's circa 27% of games were sold out this season. So, you know, the appetite is there. But what we need, and, you know, demonstrated again, as referenced earlier, we had a non-Dublin final yesterday. So regional football is very important. And that evolution and I suppose, development of the facilities that we have in this country needs to be geographically spread. So it was really encouraging to see that axis starting to form this week, or just gone, when LSSIF awarded to Wexford, to Sligo, to Dublin. And obviously, if you roll in the previous LSSIF round, then you have Finn Harps and Donegal featuring. And I think, you know, very quickly over the coming decade, we're going to see that axis of new refreshed stadia giving an additional platform and a launching pad for the next phase of growth of the league, because it's been phenomenal. And I would say, as much as we applaud the clubs for their activity, I wanted to take the opportunity to just say well done to Mark and his team, because I think often they don't maybe get the recognition that they deserve for how they've evolved the product and managed to promote it and deliver different services like LOI TV, which I think has been a key enabler. So, look, I just wanted to say those points, because the reality is we are starting to align our strategies. We have a really powerful football community across the country. We haven't spoken with one voice for quite some time. And you'll see in the coming days, we'll be launching our new campaign, which will coincide with the election period, and it's our facilities, our game, our facilities, our ask. So it's an evolution of what we did last year. And it goes back to the point that Aidan made, a really, you know, really strong call to arms, and we'd ask that everyone involved in football in this community to carry that message and try and champion greater investment into the game that we all love. Thank you very much.
Are we out? We can all swear again.